I've been a silent observer in my neighborhood's HOA Facebook group for 3 years, and what I witnessed last month was the most beautiful train wreck of suburban pettiness I've ever seen. Names changed for obvious reasons. The setting. Let me paint you a picture of Meadowbrook Estates. It's one of those cookie-cutter suburban developments where every house looks basically the same except for the mailbox color, which, yes, has to be HOA approved. We're talking pristine lawns, identical driveways, and the kind of place where people actually care about property values. Our HOA Facebook group, Meadowbrook Estates Community, has 847 members for a neighborhood of maybe 200 houses. Yes, you read that right. Apparently, every adult in every household had to join, plus some people's adult children who moved out but stayed in the group to keep tabs on mom and dad. This group is usually a goldmine of suburban drama. We get the classics. Whose dog is barking at 7:03 a.m.? Some of us work from home. The house on Maple Street has their garbage can still visible at 6 p.m. on pickup day. This is unacceptable. Does anyone know why there were 2 whole minutes of sirens today? Very concerning. But nothing, and I mean nothing, prepared us for what became known as Bingate 2024. The players. Before we dive in, let me introduce our main characters. Janet Morrison, 52, the self-appointed neighborhood watch captain. Janet has lived in Meadowbrook for 15 years and considers herself a founding resident. She's the type who measures her grass height weekly and once called a town meeting because someone planted non-HOA approved flowers. Think of the most stereotypical Karen you can imagine, then add a Ring doorbell obsession. Tom Chin, 45, a software engineer who moved in 2 years ago with his wife Lisa and twin 8-year-olds. Generally keeps to himself, works from home, and his biggest crime before this incident was occasionally leaving his garage door open overnight. Seems like a decent guy who just wants to live his life in peace. Patricia Patty Williams, HOA president, 67, been HOA president for 8 years running. Unopposed, because who else wants this job? Usually tries to keep the peace, but has the spine of overcooked spaghetti when things get heated. Her favorite phrase is, "Let's all try to be neighborly." The supporting cast, a rotating ensemble of neighbors who range from reasonable people trying to de-escalate to absolute chaos agents who just want to watch the world burn. The inciting incident. Tuesday, March 12th, 2024, 7:43 a.m. It started so innocently. Tom was getting ready for work, probably thinking about code reviews and morning meetings, when his phone buzzed with a Facebook notification. Janet had posted to the group. The post was simple enough, a photo and a caption. But oh, what a photo it was. Picture this, a grainy, clearly zoomed-in screenshot from what appeared to be a security camera. The image quality looked like it was taken with a potato during an earthquake. You could make out a vaguely human-shaped blob near what might have been a recycling bin, but identifying specific features? Forget about it. The timestamp showed 6:47 a.m. The caption read, "Caught red-handed. This is Tom Chin from Birch Lane stealing my recycling bin from my driveway this morning. I have been missing bins for weeks, and now I know why. This is theft, and I am considering pressing charges." Unacceptable behavior from someone who should know better. Within minutes, the comments started rolling in. Comment 1. Susan Rodriguez, 7:45 a.m. OMG Janet. I can't believe this. I always thought Tom seemed suspicious. Comment 2. Mike Thompson, 7:46 a.m. Are you sure that's Tom? This photo looks like Bigfoot footage, lol. Comment 3. Janet Morrison, 7:47 a.m. Mike Thompson, it is clearly Tom. I know what my neighbor looks like. And this is not funny. This is theft of HOA-provided property. Comment 4. Lisa Chun, 7:52 a.m. Janet, this is Lisa, Tom's wife. That's Tom taking our bin from our driveway. Our bins are right next to each other, and sometimes they shift after pickup. Tom was getting ready for work and noticed our bin had rolled toward your property line. And that, dear Reddit, was when all hell broke loose. Hour 1. The lines are drawn. 8 to 9 a.m. By 8 a.m., the post had 23 comments and the neighborhood had already split into factions. Team Janet came out swinging. Susan Rodriguez, 8:03 a.m. Lisa, Chen, I find it very convenient that you have an excuse ready. Janet's bins have been going missing for weeks. Weeks. Beverly Martinez, 8:07 a.m. I've seen Tom in our driveway area multiple times. Always thought it was weird. Now I know why. Janet Morrison, 8:12 a.m. Lisa, Chen, your husband was clearly on MY's side of the property line. I measured it myself with a tape measure last year during the Great Sprinkler Dispute of 2023. Yes, Reddit, that was a real thing. Different story. The bins were a full 18 inches onto MY property. Team Tom wasn't going down without a fight. David Park, 8:15 a.m. Janet, I live across the street and have a clear view of both your driveways. Your bins and the Chen's bins are literally identical and sit like 2 feet apart. After pickup day, they're always scattered around. Tom Chun, 8:18 a.m. Janet Morrison, I am absolutely shocked by this accusation. That is MY recycling bin that I was retrieving from where the garbage truck left it after pickup yesterday. I have never touched your property, and I resent the implication that I'm some kind of thief. This is harassment. Maria Santos, 8:22 a.m. Can we all just take a step back here? These bins all look exactly the same, and they get moved around every week by the garbage trucks. Maybe there's been a misunderstanding. But the voice of reason was quickly drowned out. Janet Morrison, 8:24 a.m. Maria Santos, there is no misunderstanding. I have proof. This is not the first time. I've been tracking this for weeks. Comment from hell, Beverly Martinez, 8:31 a.m. You know what? Now that I think about it, Tom never seems to have as much recycling as the rest of us. Suspicious if you ask me. Where's all his cardboard and bottles going? This comment, Reddit, was like throwing gasoline on a campfire. Hour 2 to 3. The escalation engine, 9 to 11 a.m. Tom, probably trying to focus on work, made the classic mistake of engaging further. Tom Chen, 9:15 a.m. Beverly Martinez, are you seriously suggesting I'm stealing recycling? We get our groceries delivered, and we barely drink anything that comes in bottles. We compost most of our cardboard for Lisa's garden. This is getting ridiculous. Janet Morrison, 9:18 a.m. Oh, so now you have explanations for everything. Very convenient, Tom Chen. This is when the neighborhood's chaos agents started emerging from the woodwork. Kevin Murphy, 9:23 a.m. Plot twist. What if Tom has been stealing everyone's recycling to reduce his carbon footprint? Face with tears of joy. Janet Morrison, 9:24 a.m. Kevin Murphy, this is not a joke. Deborah Foster, 9:31 a.m. I don't want to add fuel to the fire, but Tom, your lawn hasn't been mowed in 9 days. I've been counting. Maybe focus on your own property instead of other activities. And there it was. The classic HOA Facebook move, dragging up completely unrelated grievances. Tom Chin, 9:45 a.m. Deborah Foster, my lawn was mowed 6 days ago. It rained over the weekend, so it grew. Also, what does my grass have to do with recycling bins? Patricia Williams, HOA president, 10:12 a.m. Folks, let's all take a deep breath here. I'm sure this is just a misunderstanding. These situations happen when bins look identical. Let's try to be neighborly. Houses, red heart. Multiple people immediately. Stay out of this, Patty. / Patricia, you always take sides. / the HOA president should remain neutral. Janet Morrison, 10:35 a.m. Patricia Williams the first have clear evidence of theft and you want me to just ignore it. This is exactly why our neighborhood is going downhill. No accountability. The thread was now at 67 comments and climbing fast. Hour 4 to 6. The evidence wars begin, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. This is when Janet made her second tactical mistake. She decided to double down with more evidence. Janet Morrison, 11:47 a.m. Since some people seem to think I'm making this up, here is additional proof. She posted another screenshot, this time from her Ring doorbell app. The image quality was somehow even worse than the first photo, showing what appeared to be a time-stamped view of her front yard. Again, you could see a human-shaped blur near some cylindrical objects that might have been bins. Janet Morrison, 11:48 a.m. This is from my Ring camera at 6:47 a.m. showing the theft in progress. As you can see, someone is clearly taking MY bin. The timestamp doesn't lie. Tom Chin, 12:15 p.m. Janet, I'm looking at this photo and I literally cannot tell what's happening. This could be anyone doing anything. And again, I was getting MY bin from where the truck left it. This is when Tom made his own tactical error. Instead of staying on the high road, he decided to fight fire with fire. Tom Chin, 12:32 p.m. You know what, since we're sharing evidence now. Tom posted a screenshot of a spreadsheet. Yes, Reddit. SBREADSHED. Tom Chin, 12:33 p.m. I've been tracking our neighborhood's trash and recycling pickup schedules because I'm working from home and noticed inconsistencies. Here's data from the last 6 weeks showing exactly when bins were put out and picked up on our block. The spreadsheet was incredible. This man had logged pickup dates and times, which houses put bins out early/late, weather conditions, number of bins per household, anomalous bin positioning post-pickup. I'm not kidding. There was a column labeled anomalous bin positioning post-pickup. Tom Chin, 12:34 p.m. As you can see, the garbage trucks consistently leave bins scattered. On March 11th, yesterday, pickup occurred at 6:23 a.m. and bins were left displaced by an average of 3.7 feet from their original positions. The neighborhood didn't know how to react to this level of data analysis applied to garbage collection. Kevin Murphy, 12:41 p.m. Tom, buddy, this is either the most beautiful thing I've ever seen or deeply concerning. I can't decide which. Janet Morrison, 12:45 p.m. Tom Chin, this SBREADSHET proves nothing. You could have made all this up. And why are you tracking everyone's garbage anyway? That's creepy. David Park, 12:52 p.m. I mean, Tom's not wrong about the trucks leaving bins everywhere. My bin ended up in the Rodriguez's driveway last month. Susan Rodriguez, 12:53 p.m. David Park, yes, and you asked before taking it. You didn't just help yourself. Tom Chin, 1:04 p.m. I'm not helping myself to anything. I took MY bin from where the truck left it. The comment count hit 124. Hours 7 to 12. The president gets involved. 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. Patricia Williams, bless her heart, decided to try being more authoritative. Patricia Williams, HOA president, 1:23 p.m. Everyone, I'm going to put on my HOA president hat here. According to our community guidelines, residents are responsible for retrieving their own bins after pickup, regardless of where the trucks leave them. If bins are left on the wrong property, residents should communicate with neighbors to sort it out like adults. Janet Morrison, 1:26 p.m. Patricia Williams, are you saying theft is okay as long as you call it retrieving bins? Patricia Williams, HOA president, 1:28 p.m. Janet, I'm not seeing clear evidence of theft in these photos. They're quite blurry. Multiple neighbors, 1:29 to 1:35 p.m. Finally, someone with sense. / Patty's taking sides again. / the photos are perfectly clear. / this is a cover-up. Beverly Martinez, 1:41 p.m. You know what I just realized? Tom Chin hasn't denied being in Janet's driveway. He just says it was his bin. But how do we know it was his? They all look the same. Tom Chin, 2:15 p.m. Beverly Martinez, I was not in Janet's driveway. I was retrieving my bin from the area between our properties where the truck left it. And I know it's my bin, because it's the bin that was in front of MY house on pickup day. Janet Morrison, 2:18 p.m. Tom Chin, you keep saying that, but you have no proof it was your bin. Lisa Chun, 2:45 p.m. This is getting out of hand. Janet, Tom and I have been nothing but good neighbors to you. We helped you when your power was out last winter. We accepted your packages when you were on vacation. This accusation is hurtful and frankly bizarre. Janet Morrison, 2:47 p.m. Lisa Chin, don't try to guilt trip me. Being nice neighbors doesn't give you permission to steal. By 3 p.m., people who hadn't commented in the HOA group for years started emerging to weigh in. Robert Kim, 3:12 p.m. I've been reading this thread for 2 hours and I just want to say, This is the most entertainment I've had since Netflix canceled my favorite show. Janet Morrison, 3:14 p.m. Robert Kim, this is not entertainment. This is a serious matter of theft. Margaret Thompson, 3:33 p.m. Janet, honey, I've lived in this neighborhood for 22 years. In that time, I've accidentally taken the wrong bin at least a dozen times. We all have. The bins are identical and the trucks scatter them everywhere. Maybe we should all just take a step back here. Janet Morrison, 3:35 p.m. Margaret Thompson, this is not an accident. This is a pattern. I've been missing bins for weeks. This comment triggered what I like to call the Great Receipts War of 2024. Hours 13 to 18. The Receipts War, 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. David Park, 6:23 p.m. Janet, you keep saying you've been missing bins for weeks. I live across from you, and I see your bins every week. When exactly were they missing? Janet Morrison, 6:31 p.m. David Park, I don't have to prove anything to you. I know when my bins are missing. Maria Santos, 6:45 p.m. Janet, I don't want to pile on, but I live next to you, and I've seen all your bins every week. Are you sure they were actually missing and not just moved around? This is when the neighborhood's unofficial historian, Dorothy Chun, no relation to Tom, decided to drop a bomb. Dorothy Chun, 7:15 p.m. You know what, I've been in this group since the beginning and I remember things. Let me share some screenshots. Dorothy, bless her petty soul, had been SCRENSHOTTNG drama in the HOA group for years. She started posting a greatest hits collection. Dorothy Chun, 7:16 p.m. Here's Janet from February 14th complaining that someone stole her Valentine's decorations. Turned out her husband put them in the garage. Screenshot of Janet's post. Some thief stole my beautiful Valentine's heart decorations from my front porch. This neighborhood is going to hell. Dorothy Chun, 7:18 p.m. Here's Janet from January 3rd claiming someone stole her newspaper. It was a holiday, so there was no delivery. Dorothy Chun, 7:21 p.m. and my personal favorite, from December 2023. Screenshot. Someone has been stealing my Amazon packages. I ordered 3 packages and only 2 were delivered. Amazon is lying when they say all 3 were delivered. There's a thief in our neighborhood. Dorothy Chun, 7:22 p.m. Amazon's delivery photo showed all 3 packages stacked on top of each other. The third one was just hidden under the first 2. The neighborhood was living for this level of petty documentation. Kevin Murphy, 7:25 p.m. Dorothy came with receipts. Page facing up, page facing up, page facing up. Janet Morrison, 7:28 p.m. Dorothy Chun, this is harassment. You're bringing up old posts to embarrass me. This is completely different. Susan Rodriguez, 7:31 p.m. Dorothy, that's pretty mean. We all make mistakes. Dorothy Chun, 7:33 p.m. Susan Rodriguez, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm pointing out a pattern. Janet frequently accuses neighbors of theft when there are simpler explanations. Tom Chun, 7:45 p.m. I appreciate Dorothy sharing this context. It shows that maybe Janet jumps to conclusions about theft. Janet Morrison, 7:47 p.m. Tom Chun, you would love to discredit me. This is different. I have photo evidence. This is when things got really spicy because Mike Thompson decided to become an amateur photo analyst. Mike Thompson, 8:23 p.m. Janet, I've been looking at your evidence photos and I think I can help. I work in digital imaging. Can you post the original files instead of screenshots? Screenshots lose a lot of image quality. Janet Morrison, 8:31 p.m. Mike Thompson, the photos are perfectly clear as they are. Mike Thompson, 8:35 p.m. I mean, I enhanced the first photo as much as I could, and honestly I can't even tell if that's a person or a shadow. The timestamp is clear, but the actual content. Mike posted his enhanced version of Janet's first photo. It looked like something from a UFO conspiracy website. Kevin Murphy, 8:41 p.m. Mike's enhanced photo looks like the Loch Ness Monster face with tears of joy. Patricia Williams, HOA president, 8:52 p.m. Okay everyone, this thread is getting out of hand. We've got over 200 comments about recycling bins. Maybe it's time to move on. Janet Morrison, 8:54 p.m. Patricia Williams, we will not move on until this thief admits what he did. Tom Chun, 8:55 p.m. I'm not admitting to something I didn't do. This is harassment at this point. The thread hit 237 comments and was showing no signs of slowing down. Days 2 to 3. The spiral continues. I'm going to fast forward a bit here because the next 48 hours were basically the same arguments on repeat, but with more neighbors getting involved and more ridiculous theories. Some highlights. Tuesday night. Someone created a poll asking, who do you believe in Bingate 2024? Team Janet got 23 votes, Team Tom got 47 votes, and This Is Ridiculous got 156 votes. Wednesday morning, Janet posted a third photo, this time a close-up of her bin with a caption, notice how clean this is. This is not the bin I put out yesterday. Someone switched my bin with their dirty one. The bin looked completely normal. Wednesday afternoon, Tom, clearly at his wit's end, posted a video of himself walking through his normal morning routine, including retrieving his bins. The video was actually pretty funny. He narrated it like a nature documentary. And here we see the suburban dad in his natural habitat, retrieving the sacred recycling vessel. Wednesday evening, Beverly Martinez claimed she saw Tom lurking near the bins at 6 a.m. Tom replied with his work-from-home schedule showing he had a 6:30 a.m. meeting with Japan, so he was definitely up and getting ready for work. Thursday, the argument somehow evolved into a debate about garbage truck efficiency, HOA bin policies, and whether everyone should get different colored bins to avoid confusion. Patricia suggested everyone could put their house numbers on their bins. Janet said this was victim blaming. Day 4, the plot twist nobody saw coming. Friday morning, March 15th, 2024. The thread had been quiet for about 12 hours. We all thought maybe it was finally dying down. Then, at 7:23 a.m., Janet posted again. Janet Morrison, 7:23 a.m. I owe everyone an apology, especially Tom Chun and Lisa Chun. Reddit, you could practically hear the entire neighborhood scrambling for their phones. Janet Morrison, 7:24 a.m. I found my recycling bin. It was in my backyard behind my shed. My husband Bob moved it there Tuesday night because he was power washing the driveway and needed the space. He forgot to mention it to me. The silence was deafening. For about 30 seconds. Then the floodgates opened. Kevin Murphy, 7:25 a.m. I'm sorry, what now? Tom Chin, 7:26 a.m. Janet, are you saying your bin was never missing? David Park, 7:27 a.m. So Tom was just getting his own bin? Like he said this entire time? Janet Morrison, 7:31 a.m. I sincerely apologize to Tom and Lisa. I was wrong. But I was acting on the information I had. Anyone would have thought the same thing seeing someone taking a bin. Lisa Chun, 7:34 a.m. Janet, Tom told you multiple times it was his bin. You chose not to believe him. Dorothy Chun, 7:35 a.m. This is exactly like the Valentine's decoration situation. Margaret Thompson, 7:41 a.m. Janet, honey, maybe in the future you could ask before you accuse? Susan Rodriguez, 7:45 a.m. Janet, you did the right thing apologizing. We all make mistakes. Beverly Martinez, 7:47 a.m. I still think Tom was acting suspicious. Just because Janet found her bin doesn't mean Tom wasn't doing something weird. Multiple people immediately. Beverly NO, / please stop, / read the room. Tom Chun, 8:15 a.m. I appreciate the apology, Janet. But this whole situation was incredibly stressful for my family. My kids heard neighbors talking about their dad being a thief. That really hurt. Janet Morrison, 8:23 a.m. I said I was sorry. I don't know what more you want from me. And this, Reddit, is where Janet made her final mistake. Instead of just accepting that she'd messed up, she started getting defensive about her apology. Maria Santos, 8:31 a.m. Janet, I think Tom just wants you to understand that accusations like this have real consequences. Maybe be more careful next time. Janet Morrison, 8:35 a.m. Maria Santos, I am always careful. This was an honest mistake. I'm not psychic. How was I supposed to know Bob moved the bin? Patricia Williams, HOA president. 8:45 a.m. Janet, you're apologizing and defending yourself at the same time. Pick one. Janet Morrison. 8:47 a.m. Patricia Williams the first can apologize and explain my reasoning. They're not mutually exclusive. The thread was now approaching 400 comments and Janet was somehow still arguing. The aftermath. Bingate lives forever. Here's where we are now, Reddit. It's been over a month since Bingate 2024, and the original thread is still up. Janet never deleted it. It currently has 847 comments, I counted, and has become legendary in our neighborhood. New residents get sent the link as part of their informal neighborhood orientation. Tom and Lisa Chin seem to be handling it well. Tom occasionally makes jokes about his criminal past, and Lisa started a neighborhood composting program that's actually pretty successful. Janet has doubled down on the victim mentality. She now refers to the incident as the time everyone ganged up on me for trying to protect our neighborhood. She's posted several times about cancel culture coming to suburban HOAs. The neighborhood is divided into 3 camps. Team, we should all move on, majority. Team, Janet owes a bigger apology, smaller but vocal. Team, this was hilarious and we should do it again, Kevin Murphy and a few others. Patricia Williams stepped down as HOA president. She cited stress and wanting to focus on her garden. The election for new president is next month and nobody wants the job. Dorothy Chen has started a weekly HOA drama recap post that summarizes all the neighborhood Facebook nonsense. It's become the most popular content in the group. Beverly Martinez is still suspicious of Tom. She posts cryptic comments like, some people have gotten away with too much in this neighborhood, and the truth has a way of coming out. We're all watching to see what she'll accuse him of next. Bob Morrison, Janet's husband, has reportedly moved out. This is unconfirmed neighborhood gossip, but his car hasn't been in their driveway in 3 weeks. Some say it's related to Bingate stress. Others think it's unrelated. Either way, Janet blames neighborhood harassment. The Great Bin Initiative of 2024, someone, possibly Tom, started a petition to get the city to provide different colored bins for each house to avoid future confusion. It has 127 signatures and is apparently being considered by the city council. Bingate references. Bingate has entered the neighborhood vocabulary. Any minor dispute now gets responses like, oh great, here we go with Bingate 2.0, or is this the new recycling bin situation? Lessons learned. What can we take away from this beautiful disaster? Always check with your spouse before accusing neighbors of theft. Seriously. A 30-second conversation could have prevented this entire situation. Blurry photos prove nothing. If your evidence looks like Bigfoot footage, maybe get better evidence before going public. HOA Facebook groups are digital wildfire. Drama spreads faster than you can say community guidelines. Apologizing while still arguing isn't actually apologizing. Janet's I'm sorry but. Approach satisfied exactly nobody. Some people will always find a way to make drama. Looking at you, Beverly Martinez. Spreadsheets are both the best and worst way to win an argument. Tom's data was beautiful, but also slightly concerning. The internet is forever. This thread will probably outlive all of us. Future archaeologists will study Bingate as an example of suburban social dynamics in the 2020s. Just last week, someone new moved into the neighborhood and posted, "Hi everyone. Excited to be part of the Meadowbrook community. Any local tips or things I should know?" The responses were beautiful. Welcome. Just remember to always check with your spouse before moving recycling bins. Kevin Murphy. Make sure you read the Bingate thread for important community history. Dorothy Chun. Don't steal bins. Janet Morrison. That was one time, and I apologize. Also Janet Morrison. Replying to herself. Welcome to the neighborhood. It's usually quieter than this grinning face with sweat. Patricia Williams. Define quieter, lol. About 15 different people. And Tom Chun, bless him, posted. Welcome. Great neighborhood. Just a heads up that the garbage trucks sometimes scatter the bins around after pickup. Feel free to knock on doors if you're not sure which bin is which. Smiling face with smiling eyes. The new neighbor responded, "Should I be worried about the bin situation?" Yes. Beverly Martinez. No, everyone else. And that, Reddit, is how Bingate 2024 became the gift that keeps on giving. I'm sure there will be sequels. There always are in suburbia. Stay tuned for my next post. The Great Halloween Decoration Controversy of 2024. Someone put up decorations on September 30th and Janet had opinions. TLDR, neighbor accused another neighbor of stealing recycling bins based on blurry photos. 400+ comment Facebook fight ensued. Turns out her husband just moved her bin to the backyard and forgot to tell her. She apologized but somehow kept arguing. The drama continues to this day and has become neighborhood legend. Update: as I was writing this post, someone tagged me in a new Facebook thread. Janet is now claiming someone stole her garden gnome. Here we go again. Thanks for reading, Reddit. Sometimes suburban life is stranger than fiction. Edit. Wow, this blew up. Thanks for the awards, everyone. Edit 2. Several people have asked for an invite to our HOA Facebook group. For obvious reasons, I can't do that, but trust me when I say your own neighborhood probably has similar drama. Check your local community pages. Edit 3. Tom Chin apparently found this post, hi Tom, and wanted me to add that he's actually proud of his spreadsheet and has expanded it to include citywide garbage collection efficiency data. He's presenting it to the city council next month. Legend. Edit 4. The garden gnome has been found. It fell over in some bushes. Janet has not apologized to anyone this time. Some people never learn.